Creation is finished means that everything you could ever desire or imagine already exists in an unseen reality. The moment you conceive a desire and clothe it in the feeling of its fulfillment, you are not creating something new. You are selecting it from the infinite possibilities that are already complete. You are not bringing something into existence. You are aligning yourself with it. The inner act of assuming the wish fulfilled is not the beginning of creation, but the recognition of its completion. Once you have imagined vividly and felt it real, you have stepped into the version of yourself who already possesses it. From that moment onward, your task is not to build, strive, or force, but to remain faithful to that inner knowing. In the unseen realm, the desire is accomplished in its entirety. What follows in the physical world is simply the unfolding of what is already true. Every action, every event, every person that plays a part in bringing it to you is set into motion the instant you have completed the inner act. It is not a matter of hoping it will happen. It has already happened, and time simply delivers it to your awareness. To doubt or question after this point is to step away from the state in which it exists. The truth is that your imagining is the reality, and the outer world will inevitably conform to it. Living in the end is the art of thinking, feeling, and responding to life from the position of already having what you desire. It is stepping into the identity of the person for whom the wish is not a hope, but a present reality. This is not about daydreaming or pretending in a shallow way. It is about a deep, inner shift where the mind accepts the desired state as the only truth. You carry yourself with the quiet certainty of one who knows. Your tone changes, your inner conversations change. Even the way you interpret the smallest events begins to align with this new identity. You no longer ask, when will it come? Because in your awareness it is already here. The outer world may still reflect the old state for a time, but that does not move you, for you know the shadow takes time to catch up with the light that casts it. Living in the end is an inner decision to refuse all thoughts and feelings that contradict your new reality. You do not beg, you do not chase, you do not wonder, because you are already there. You inhabit the feeling completely. And from this place, the world begins to rearrange itself in ways you could never plan. This is the secret posture of true faith, remaining in the end regardless of what the senses report, knowing that the end you occupy within will inevitably become the world you touch without. The inner act is the true cause of every outer result. What you experience in the visible world is nothing more than the shadow cast by the state you occupy within. When you deliberately perform the inner act, imagining your desire is already accomplished, feeling the emotions that would naturally arise from its fulfillment, you set into motion the only creative force there is. In that moment, the outcome is secured, not because you will one day make it happen, but because the world must conform to the reality you have accepted inwardly. Everything outside is powerless in itself. It merely reflects the arrangement of your inner assumptions. Once you have completed the inner act, there is nothing left to fix or control on the outside. The phone call, the meeting, the opportunity, the seeming coincidence, all are simply the inevitable consequences of the inner change. Striving in the external world without first completing the inner act is like trying to change a shadow without moving the object that casts it. But the instant you change the state within, the shadow must change, even if it takes time to appear in your view. The truth is that the unseen work is the only work, and the outer result is nothing more than its echo. When the inner work is truly done, there is no need to strain or force anything into place. Struggle is always a sign of disbelief, a signal that you are trying to make with effort what could only ever come through acceptance. Forcing is born from the fear that it will not happen unless you push, yet that very fear denies the reality of the desire's completion. Real creation is effortless because it is not about building something from nothing, but about aligning with what already exists. When you know it is done, you move through life calmly, allowing events to unfold without trying to manipulate them. There is no chasing, no desperation, no restless action meant to prove your worthiness or speed up the process. The outer world moves with its own rhythm, guided by the invisible cause you have already set in motion. And the less you interfere, the smoother it flows. Straining to make it happen is like tugging at a flower to help it grow. In truth, you only disturb its natural development. True power lies in the quiet confidence that what you desire is already yours. And from that state of knowing, you do only what feels natural, never what feels forced. Faith is rest because it is the complete release of all tension, worry, and effort once you know the desire is already fulfilled. It is not a passive waiting, but a deep inner assurance that nothing more is required of you. When faith is real, there is no mental argument, no constant measuring of progress, no questioning of how or when it will appear. You live as though the outcome is certain, and that certainty produces a calm stillness within. This rest is not laziness, but the natural state of someone who has seen the end and accepted it as fact. In this place, you are no longer trying to get. You are simply allowing what is already yours to move into view. The world outside may still present appearances to the contrary, yet you are unmoved because the reality within is the only one you recognize. Faith is the absence of strain, the refusal to fight with circumstances, the quiet knowing that the bridge of events is already building itself for you. To rest in faith is to walk through each day without grasping or hurrying, trusting that the perfect sequence is unfolding exactly as it must. Do not redig the seed means once you have planted your desire in imagination and felt it as real, you must leave it undisturbed. Constantly checking for signs, questioning whether it is working, or reimagining it out of doubt is the same as digging into the soil to see if the seed has started to grow. Every time you do this, you interrupt the natural process and delay its appearance. Just as a seed needs darkness, stillness, and time to germinate, your imagined desire needs the quiet protection of unwavering faith. The moment you have performed the inner act, the creative process is already in motion, and life will orchestrate the means for its fulfillment. Your role is to nurture it through persistent inner knowing, not by forcing outer conditions to change prematurely. To redig the seed is to send the message that you do not truly believe it has taken root, and in doing so, you weaken the very foundation you've laid. True mastery is planting the seed once, feeling the certainty of its growth, and then going about your days with the calm expectation that it will emerge in its perfect season. Surrendering to the bridge of events is the willingness to allow life to arrange the perfect sequence of circumstances that will carry you from where you are to the fulfillment of your desire. Once the inner act is complete, the path toward its realization is set into motion in ways you could never predict or design. This bridge may include events that seem unrelated, detours that feel unnecessary, or even challenges that appear to move you in the opposite direction. Yet each step is essential, and every turn is part of the invisible map leading you to the end you have already claimed within. To surrender is to release the need to control how it unfolds or demand that it follow the route you prefer. It is trusting that the unseen intelligence that arranged the end will also arrange the means. Your role is to remain faithful to the state you have assumed, letting the bridge carry you naturally without resistance. Even the smallest encounters, delays, or changes can be vital links in this chain, and you may only see their importance in hindsight. By surrendering, you align yourself with the effortless flow of fulfillment, knowing that each step, whether obvious or hidden, is perfectly timed to deliver you to the reality you have already chosen. Confidence in the unseen is the quiet certainty that what you have accepted within is as real as anything you can touch or see, even if it has not yet appeared in the physical world. It is the unwavering trust that the invisible cause you set in motion through imagination is already complete and is now simply making its way into visible form. This kind of confidence does not depend on signs or evidence to feel secure. It stands firm regardless of outer appearances. You no longer look for proof because you know the proof exists in the unseen, and it is only a matter of time before your senses catch up to it. This trust allows you to walk through life with ease, responding to circumstances from the awareness that your desire is already yours. The gap is also your. The outer world may present moments that seem contrary to your wish, but these hold no weight against the reality you have already claimed within. Confidence in the unseen is like knowing the sun will rise even before the first light touches the horizon. You do not doubt it, you simply wait for its inevitable appearance. From this state, you carry yourself with a calm assurance, and that assurance becomes the very magnet that draws the unseen into view. Detaching from time is releasing the need to measure, count, or predict when your desire will appear. It is stepping out of the habit of looking at clocks and calendars as if they have authority over creation. When you have accepted your desire as already fulfilled in imagination, time is no longer a factor, because in that inner reality it already exists. The need to hurry or the fear of waiting are both signs that you are still seeing the desire as separate from you. True detachment means you stop asking how long it will take and instead live in the feeling of already having it now. You trust that its appearance in the physical world will be perfectly timed, even if that timing is invisible to you in the moment. Just as a fruit ripens at its own pace and cannot be rushed without being spoiled, your desire will come into view when all conditions align naturally. This is not resignation, but freedom from impatience, a deep knowing that time is simply the servant of your state and not its master. By detaching from time, you step into the timeless space of fulfillment. And from there, the outer world has no choice but to reveal what you already claim within. Resting in gratitude is living in the quiet joy of already possessing what you once desired. It is not the gratitude of hoping something will happen, but the gratitude of knowing it is done. This feeling does not wait for outer proof before it arises. It comes naturally from the inner certainty that your desire is already yours. In this state, every thought, every word, every action is colored by the contentment of fulfillment. You no longer search or strive because you are already standing in the reality you have chosen. Gratitude becomes your resting place, a steady undercurrent that shapes your mood and outlook each day. Even the smallest details of life take on a new meaning as you see them as part of the perfect unfolding toward the end you have assumed. This rest is effortless because it is not about trying to maintain a positive attitude. It is the natural expression of one who knows they have received. In this atmosphere of thankfulness, resistance fades, doubts dissolve, and the path ahead clears. For gratitude is the language of completion, and completion draws the invisible into view. When the inner work is done, nothing more is required but to live in the quiet certainty of its fulfillment. The cycle is complete the moment you have imagined vividly, felt it real, and accepted it within. From that point onward, your task is not to push, not to search, not to question, but to remain in the state of already having. Life itself will bridge the gap, arranging every step with a precision beyond your understanding. To interfere is to doubt. To rest is to trust. And trust is the proof that you know creation is finished. Stand still inwardly and let the unseen move for you. For what is truly yours can never be lost, and what is already complete must in time be revealed.